What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Aushoopers TV. Today we've got on Xavier Cooks. We're very excited to have Xavier Cooks on. Obviously, he represented Australia with the Australian Boomers at the recent Olympics, and he's a forward for the Sydney Kings currently. One of those guys that, if they have a big season and when they have a big season, we're sure he's going to have a big one. He's on the brink of the NBA and definitely could get a deal in the next year or so. So we're excited to have Xavier on and pick his brains a little bit and see what he thinks, see what his thoughts are on if Kings can bring it home this year.
What's going on, fellas?
Yo, not much.
How you doing? I'm good, man. How you guys doing?
Not too bad. Before we start, introduce you to Hesh. He's co-hosting the show today.
What's going on, bro?
Nice to meet you, Xavier.
Yeah, you too, man. Am I allowed to drink some wine on the show? Is that all right?
Yeah, you're good.
We encourage alcohol. We encourage swearing. We encourage
let's
calling
keep it
people out. Do whatever you got to do, bro.
All right.
Chris Goulding went through about 6 beers when he was on our show.
Standard bubbles, man. He loves it.
Yeah, he does. First things first, we'll get into it. Obviously, one of the bigger things that's happened recently. Obviously, the Boomers won bronze at the recent Olympics. Congrats on being selected. That's an amazing achievement. Let's take it back to when you first found out you were in the team. Where were you and how'd you find out?
You mean in the squad?
Yeah.
I didn't make the team. I was the reserve. When I made the squad of 18, I was back in Wollongong, and I was pretty surprised because I hadn't played much basketball in the last 12 months. You know what I mean? I've been so much time injured and all that kind of stuff. So I was kind of shook. And then I go to camp in LA, and I didn't really have a great camp, to be honest with you. I just didn't play the way I usually play. I wasn't playing confident. I wasn't playing my normal swag, that kind of stuff. I was just trying to fit in, you know what I mean, and trying to tick all the boxes without trying to make too many mistakes. And that's not really the right way to play. So I didn't make the squad. I was a reserve, and it kind of hurt, but like I didn't really expect to make it, to be honest with you. There's a lot of good guys in the squad, and obviously a great team. They got the bronze medal for the first time, so that was big time.
For sure. One of the biggest things we could probably take away from that team is the culture within the team. We've spoken to Nick Kay, we've spoken to Chris Goulding. What was your take on the culture with the team? What was your experience like?
The best culture I've ever seen on any basketball team in my life, man. It's one of those things you could tell it's been built over the last few years, not even the last few years, since Paddy and Joe and Deli, all the little children and little kids and all that kind of stuff. So, and you can just tell the way they play on the court, they play for each other. They do the little things for each other, and they really care about each other. And that goes a long way on the court, trust me.
Yeah, 100%. And then after the Olympic campaign and the pre-Olympic campaign you were involved in, ended up coming back with the Kings, obviously halfway through the preseason now, or not even, pretty much end of preseason.
Yeah.
The game about a week away, which is pretty dope. Talk to us a little bit about the Kings roster, new coaching staff. How's it all been, and how's the team looking, and how's it feeling this preseason?
It feels really weird, man. Like when I first joined the Kings, I was maybe the third youngest, and now I've got a bunch of young pups chipping on my ankles all the time, and it's a lot of fun. You know what I mean? It's a lot of fun to play with those guys and to have fun off the court as well. The style that we play is also exciting to play. We play fast paced. Everyone plays free. It's one of those kind of coaches and teams you want to play for. Like you have the ultimate freedom to make mistakes, and like coach trusts us to make mistakes and all that kind of stuff. And it's just fun basketball, man. Playing in transition, playing positionless basketball, defending multiple positions, just going out there and playing. It's like a structured pickup game. It almost feels like it's so much fun.
Yeah, I've heard that a little bit, even from guys that have been involved with Chase in the States. Apparently, he's supposed to be a really kind of player.
Definitely a player's coach, man. Like even the way he's gone on the sidelines, yelling at the rest for us, all that little stuff. He's really got our back, man, and like that goes a long way. Like you want to play hard for a coach that has your back because you know he cares and we care about that man.
100%, man. And you just mentioned pretty young roster. I think it's the youngest roster in the league. In fact, I'm pretty certain it is. Like you look around, everyone's kind of up and coming stars. Are you taking on more of a leadership role this season? I guess you have to, having been there before and been there kind of I guess apart from Brucey, you'd kind of be there that, been there, one of the
yeah.
guys.
Me, I joined halfway through the season, and Brucey and Geordie joined that same season. So they've been here for 8 more games than me or so, but the three of us are taking a big leadership role. And it's tough because I'm 26. I'm no role model. I make a lot of mistakes, and it's tough to tell these kids not to do stuff that I'm sometimes doing, you know what I mean? So, but it's a great experience, a great learning curve for myself, and I'm ready for it, man. Like I'm really ready for it, and just we've got a bunch of fun teammates, man. Like just good guys that are willing to work hard, put the work in, and like it's easy to come to training every day when everyone's wanting to get better. They don't have to be there; they want to be there. So it's been good.
Sure. There's an obvious answer to this. Is the goal to win a championship? Obviously, you guys have a really stacked roster, one of the most stacked rosters on paper in the league. Obviously, we haven't seen RJ play yet. We haven't seen McCurr play yet. But we've got a little taste of what you guys can do in the preseason. Is the goal to win a championship?
Come on, man. What do you think the goal is? To come third? It's definitely to win the championship. And we definitely have the roster to do it. We're young. We're going to make mistakes early. It's tough when you put so many guys together in like, normally at the Kings, we add 2 or 3 players. You know what I mean? We just have the same core group. This year, we have so many new players. It's going to take some time to adjust. You know what I mean? And we all know that's going to take some time. But once we get clicking and we get rolling, we're all on the same page. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to play with. Like, you're right. You haven't seen RJ. You haven't seen MK. You haven't seen Jordy. You haven't seen these boys. And they're all ridiculously talented basketball players. We have, I think, the most talented basketball team in the league for sure. It's just how we're going to gel together. That's going to be the difference. How we find the defensive end. How we, you know what I mean? All that kind of stuff.
For sure. How do you think RJ is going to fit in with the team?
That means a bucket. That man is a walking bucket. So the way we play, he's going to get them up. Trust me, he's going to get them up. But he's going to make a lot of shots. And he fits in well. Just he's got a real loosey-goosey kind of game style. You know what I mean? He needs freedom to play well, in my opinion, because he shoots some tough shots and he makes tough shots. He's a shot maker. So he's going to be good for us.
Sure. So let's take it back in time. How was your introduction to basketball? How'd you fall in love with it?
Man, I'm a very competitive person. I sometimes struggle in the social aspect of life because I'm trying to compete in just little stuff. Like, I bet I can drink this bottle of wine faster than you can. Just little stuff like that. And basketball, that was my first love for it. And my dad was a coach for the Hawks, assistant coach for the Hawks for 10, 15 years. So I was always around the Hawks boys and all that kind of stuff growing up. And just being around it for so long, man, you fall in love with it, man. You really do.
Yeah, for sure. You just mentioned your dad, assistant coach with the Hawks for an extended period of time, all through your juniors down in the Gong. From personal experience, I've had a bit of time with your dad when I was training with the Hawks, and he's probably the most chilled out, easygoing coach.
That man's chilled, right? He's so chilled.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think I've ever heard him yell. Like in my, at 6 months I was there, I don't think he ever yelled a word that he said. But how cool was it to have your dad be assistant coach at NBL? Talk to us a little bit about that and what impact that kind of had to your development in your junior years.
Really cool, man. Just, when you're a little kid, you look up to all the NBL boys and all that kind of stuff, and just being able to be around it. Like, I feel like I've known everyone's scouting report for the last 20 years just because my dad's been doing the scouts for so long. And then just my impact on the game, you learn habits like seeing players come through like Kevin Lish, Rodney Clark, these kind of guys that came through who have ridiculous habits. They're in the gym 24/7, and like you get to see what it takes to be a superstar. Like, it's easy. It's not easy, but a lot of players can get by in the league and still be good basketball players. But to be at the top level, you got to put in the work. And I've seen the players come through, put in the work, and see what it takes. You know what I mean?
Sure. You ended up at Winthrop, where you dominated, had a successful college career, including a 20-20 game. Why'd you choose Winthrop? We've seen a couple of Aussies going through there recently. I think Kyle Zunic as well came through recently.
Tom Popovac was there when I was there too. Winthrop, those were the days, man. That was the best part of my life. I chose Winthrop originally because it felt like I was recruited by a lot bigger schools, and I've seen this people go over there and not play, and they start to hate the game of basketball. You know what I mean? It's tough to ride the bench for 4 years when you got to sacrifice so much. You know what I mean? You're away from your family and all that kind of stuff. If you're not enjoying it, why do it? You know what I'm saying? So I went to Winthrop because I knew I was going to play a bit more. And during the recruitment phase, Coach Kelsey and Coach Kloman actually came to Australia to like come meet my family. They came to the AIS, they came to Wollongong, they came and saw like what I was about. Like, and that showed a lot of commitment. You know what I mean? Not a lot of big time coaches are going to try and come over here to like show what they care about recruits. You know what I'm saying? So that came a long way, and it paid off, man. Like, I had nothing but love for Winthrop, all the coaching staff, and like we had a great path there. We had a great time there, and we had one championship. We should have won another one or two, but shit happens.
For sure. I remember when you were back on one of your college summers, that was the time when I was training down at Illawarra, and you showed up to get a few runs in at that time. Pretty dominant. Even as a young guy, I remember you were like defensive end, and athletically, you were just a specimen. I was speaking to Bevo at the time, and he was talking about how special you were going to be and how excited he is for your future. And he was kind of joking that he's going to kind of convince you to stay and not go back to Winthrop at the time. But
I thought about it, man. I really did think about it
yeah,
because
and that's what I
shit,
wanted to
money
get
talks.
to.
You know what I'm saying? Money talks.
Of course, and that's what I wanted to get to. Recently, obviously, like a lot of these kids have, I reckon, more opportunity now in the NBL than they've ever had coming out of the AIS or coming out of programs here where they get the chance to get a DP+1 or DP+2 gig. How close were you to sticking around in the NBL during that college recruitment process?
College has always been a dream for me, man. Just not just the basketball aspect, just the college life. You know what I mean? College parties. I had to get a degree. I needed a backup plan, that kind of stuff. So it was tough. And my mum would have killed me if I signed with the Hawks just because, I don't know, she wanted me just to expand while I'm young, go and see the world pretty much. So I have no regrets. But if I was 18 now, I'd probably go straight to the NBL. Like, especially the way college is right now with COVID. Not many students are on campus. People aren't going to games. You're not getting the full college experience. So like, and the way that the path's going for Giddy, Mello, all them boys, like the path to the NBL is legit now. You know what I'm saying? It's legit. So like, I would definitely come here and make money. You know what I mean? Money talk. So like, I would definitely go that path nowadays. But I was close. But end of the day, I had to get a degree. You know what I mean? My mom was going to kill me otherwise.
For sure. Moving on to your professional career, you signed your first pro contract in Germany. Correct us if we're wrong on any of these, by the way. You messed around in the summer league with the Warriors and the Suns, and then you signed with a team in France also. How were your first few years as a pro?
Rough. It was rough. I wasn't rough, but when I signed in Germany, I originally got signed as a 3-man, and I played 4 my whole college career. I played 4 for a long time, and it's a tough transition because like a 2 to 3 is, you know what I mean, you're both wings, or a 4 to 5, you're both bigs. It's tough to go from a big to a wing, in my opinion. So my first couple of months, I really struggled. We weren't winning games, and it's different in college. If you're not winning games, you just train harder. In pros, you're not winning games and you're an import, you're done. You know what I mean? They're going to cut you. So like, I was really worried about that. And then I was playing with Perry Ellis, who played with the Kings, and he was the 4-man, I was the 3-man. We weren't winning games, and unfortunately, he got cut, and I got put to the 4, and we banged a guy called Devin Oliver, and we started winning games. We went really well after that, and made me realize I'm probably better at the 4 than 3, just because I don't know, just the way I am. Yeah. But that was an enjoyable experience, just playing in Germany, going to see different places, going to Turkey, going to Russia, going to Italy, all these different places to play games, and that was really cool when I'm still young. Like, I probably was still trying to get back over there for a couple more years, just see the world while I'm young, while I can. You know what I mean? Basketball is a great thing to take you around the world, meet cool people. So make the most of that while I can. And then I signed in France after a pretty good year in Germany. I came over here for the Boomers camp. Obviously, I made that squad. And then the first training in Perth, tore my meniscus in my knee. And that was a heartbreaker for me, man. That was a really tough time for me. So then I was meant to go to France, but I was injured, and they wanted me to fly over there to go try out as an unpaid tryout. And no, I'm not about to go fly across the world to go try out when like I don't know, no guaranteed money there. So I just cut that contract up and signed with Sydney, which has been a great thing for me in my career.
For sure. Do you have any funny stories? What was your first welcome to the pro leagues moment? Anyone in particular give you buckets or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I got busted a couple of times. We played against, what's that man's name? He played for Munich at the time. He had like a 10-year NBA career. I can't think of his name, but he posterized me bad and like bad. And like I went to a small college where like I was one of the tallest guys on the court, so it might get like a little tip dunk on me, but like this guy was like a body to body contact dunk, and I didn't even know what to do after that. I like almost gave him a high five, like shit, you got me. Like good shit, bro.
Yeah.
Besides that, one of the cool things was Germany, they got the Autobahn, so you can go as fast as fuck. You know what I mean? Like I had my little Golf, I'm over there in the fast lane thinking I'm killing it, going like 200 kilometers an hour. And then I look at my mirror and there's a Ferrari behind me, like beep, 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 like get the fuck over pretty much, and going like 250, like some crazy shit. Like that was a cool experience over there too.
That is wild.
That's wild, bro. You already mentioned this, but you spoke about your knee injury. Take us back to that. Now, I do understand that it was in 2019 and you just got picked for the Boomers team for the World Cup. So you had to withdraw from that for the knee injury as well. I'm sure that would have been devastating. Take us back to the challenges at that time and how that rehab process was.
It was tough, just because that was probably my first major injury I've had in my career. Just in college, I had like ankle sprains, all that kind of stuff, and they're not big deals, but this was a bigger deal. This was a 2-month, 3-month thing, and I had to have surgery for it. It was just tough. Just Dreaming about making Boomers, playing with Paddy Mills, playing with Joe, all these boys, and I finally got there, and then it's taken away from me 30 minutes into the first training session, and then all these boys are going to the World Cup, and I'm flying home to go have surgery. It was a tough time. I'm a very optimistic person. Like, I put it in perspective, it's just an injury, it's not the end of the world, but it was tough in the scheme of things.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. And then that injury, obviously, one thing leads to another. End up with the Kings, like you mentioned. I heard the Hawks were in the running as well for that. Your dad was still a coach at the time, I believe, right?
Yeah.
What made you pick the Kings? And I'm sure a ton of NBL teams would have been interested. So how did that end up with the Kings over there?
When I was at the Boomers camp, Weaver was one of the assistant coaches, and we really had a good connection. He's a real smart, intelligent basketball player, and I think and I feel like I'm a smart basketball player, so we really connected on that kind of thing. And also, just growing up in Wollongong, we always hated, but the Kings are always the big brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're the big dogs, we're the little dogs in Wollongong. So then having the chance to play for the big dogs, shit, why not? And another thing was the money was right. You know what I mean? Money talks, all that kind of stuff. So I loved it. It's close to home. It's like a perfect setup for me. It's close to home, but I'm away from home, so I can go home when I need to. But I stay up here most of the time now.
For sure. You obviously spent last season with Coach Weaver that you just mentioned. How did the news break that you found out you were getting a new coach this year in Chase Buford, and how's it been with him so far this season?
We actually had Weaver 2 years ago. We had Weaver my first year when we had Bogan on them boys.
Yeah,
and then
right.
I thought it was coming back until like the last minute. He sent me a message saying like he had an opportunity to go to Houston, and I don't blame him. I would do the exact same thing. The dreams to play or coach in the NBA, and he made it there. So then we had 40, and 40 was great. Like 40 wasn't as X and O's. He's more of a he's tougher. He's yelling at you. Weaver didn't really yell. Weaver's calm, and Weaver's more like my dad. You know, he's chilling all the time. Yeah. Whereas 40's more like a bevo. He's yelling and all that kind of stuff, and that works well for players, and that works well for me. To be honest, I don't mind getting yelled at if I'm messing around. So that was cool. And then this year, we found out pretty much halfway through the year that 40 wasn't coming back last year. Just I don't know what happened. Whatever, that ain't my business. But then we found out we had Chase coming through. I had no idea who he was. I saw this young guy with mop hair. I Google his name, and the first thing Google his name right now, bro. The first thing that comes up is his hair. His hair's wild. And it's from a game where he got like ejected from the game. It's wild video, bro. And
dude, I was talking to Wally about that because when he
bro,
found
it's
out
hilarious, man. Like
he sent me that video and go, "This is the dude that's coaching me."
Yeah, right.
Best
That's
video,
the first thing that comes up, and I was like, man, what have we got into? But then he gets here, and he's so cool, man. Like, he's just a cool dude. You know what I mean? He's just a cool cat, and like, your coach is really your boss. You know what I mean? Like, he's the one telling you what to do, pretty much. And it's cool to have a good relationship with your boss. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. You can get a coffee. You can kick back with your coach, your boss. So like, it's a good connection we have with the man. And then also his coaching ability is great. Like, you can tell he's grew up in a basketball household. Just his IQ's through the roof, and it's been great playing for him.
Sure.
Yeah, that's dope. I got a bit of a question here about. I guess it's a little bit more of a personal question. So I just want to gain some insight into your mentality. I know you signed a 1-year deal last year, another 1-year deal this year. In my experience, I think athletes tend to go towards the longer term deals just for security bases and feeling like they know where they're going to be at for a few years. I guess when you're kind of Xavier Cooks level, I guess you can be a bit more lenient with that and toss around a little bit and be a little bit more on the shorter term deals. But I'm sure NBL teams would have been chucking 3-4 year deals at you, and you could have had a nice home somewhere for a while. So why do you pick kind of the short term ones? Is that by choice or?
I don't know what Xavier Cooks level is, man, because I've been injured the whole time. But when I first joined the Kings, I joined like a 1.5-year contract. I played half the year, and then the next year came, and then COVID hit, contracts got cut in half, all that kind of stuff, and then I just didn't get to show people what I'm capable of. You know what I mean? I'm so much better than what I've been able to show so far in my career. So I didn't want to lock in for a deal where I wasn't getting the full value of myself. You know what I mean? And I felt like I owed it to Sydney to come back here for another year, just because I only played 8 games last season, and they paid me a fair bit of money to play 8 games. That's tough. So like, I felt like I owed them to come back, and then I couldn't ask for too much money only playing 8 games. You know what I mean? So I had to get what I was given, pretty much, and I didn't want to sign too many years on what I was given because I thought I'm more valuable than that, to be honest with you. And so I'm gonna try and go out there, have one more good year, and You know what I mean? Hopefully I can sign another deal with the Kings with a bit more money, but I'm not. You're right. Security is great. Security is good to have, but you also got to know your value, in my opinion, and that goes a long way.
So me and Reese always speak about young Australian talent and upcoming Australian talent. And we've commonly mentioned that you're an NBA kind of guy, and you should definitely be given a crack in the NBA. Is that the plan for you? Is that where you want to get to? And from a game perspective, what are you currently working on? Where are the kind of development areas that you're trying to get to kind of showcase yourself to get to that level?
I think I have the potential to play in the NBA. That's for sure. Some days I show it, some days I look awful. You know what I mean? That's just the way the game goes sometimes. I think for me to get to the next level, I have to be a consistent shooter. That's the way the game's going these days. For me to be able to play the 4 or the 3, you got to be able to shoot the ball at 35, 40%. You know what I mean? That's what's holding me back. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's what's holding me back right now. Just my shooting ability, and I'm putting in work. I'm getting shot up every day, but it's something that takes a lot of time to get there. I have the length, I have the ability, I have the IQ. The shooting ability. I'm not the heaviest dude in the world. Maybe put some weight on, all that kind of stuff. But I do believe I can get there one day. I mean, I'm 26. My time's, you know, what I mean, I still got a couple more years, 6 more years, hopefully, maybe 8. Who knows? But I think I can make it there. I mean, it's just been so motivating to me, in my opinion, just playing with Jason Tate every day. You know what I mean? At training when he was here, playing with Didi Lazada, playing with all these guys that's come through our system that they had great NBL careers, but they're not putting up 40 points. You know what I mean? JT probably averaged 15 and 8. You know what I mean? That man's a all NBA first team rookie. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy to me. And like, that shows you how close the NBL is to the NBA, in my opinion. So like, that's really motivating for me. And I definitely think I can get there.
For sure. We think you can get there too.
Any targets? And just to hop on that, any targets this year? Is that do you want to go? Do you reckon this year is the launch pad? Do you reckon you could put that 15 and 8 in and get over there?
I'm not that, to be honest with you, bro. I ain't that kind of guy, bro. I'm not putting personal targets. My target's to win the championship, bro. Like, you can ask anyone in my team, man. I don't really care about. I'm not going to try and be best friends with everybody. I'm going to yell at people at training. I'm not going to try and shoot too many shots. I just care about winning. That's my man. My whole life, I just care about winning games. And if you're a good player on a winning team, it's going to show. You know what I mean? That's how you get attention. You don't have to put up. I've seen a lot of players put up really good points and good numbers on bad teams, and no one gives a shit. But if you're on a good team, that's what JT averaged 15 and 8, but we were the best team in the league, second best team in the league. You know what I mean? That's why he got so much attention. Just if you win games, that's how you get there, in my opinion.
For sure.
Thanks.
Good answer. After basketball, where does Xavier Cooks see himself in 20 years?
That's nerve-wracking, man. That's nerve-wracking. I don't know. I really don't know, man. I would love to stay in the game coaching. Like, I feel like I have a good basketball mind. I'd like to use it somewhere. I'd hope to be coaching. I'd love to be a GM one day, or maybe go back to college and not go to school. I'm done with that. But like, maybe college coaching or something like that over there. But hopefully something around the game. My degree is sports management, which means I'm doing to do jack shit, but make the most of it.
For sure. We'll get into our 10 quick questions. For those listening that don't know, it's a segment we do after every episode. Just 10 rapid fire questions. You can use the skip button if you'd like. What is something you are appreciative of?
My family. Is it want quick answers or want long answers?
Oh, whatever.
Just
yeah.
Just my family. You know what I mean? They've dedicated a lot. I mean, every basketball player knows that, like, for us to get to a high level, your family's got to sacrifice so much. They got to take you every Sunday to go to train, you know, and go play in Canberra one week and all that kind of stuff. That's a lot of sacrifice and a lot of money too. So I'm really appreciative of that.
For sure.
That's cool. Who's the funniest guy on the Kings roster right now?
Oh man, we got some. I'm gonna say either RJ. He's a real funny dude. Like, he's a cool character.
Cool. Toughest guy you have guarded ever?
As in, like, tough, strong, or like hard to guard?
Hard to guard, I'd say.
Okay. I played against Diallo. You know that guy he was at OKC. I played against him in one of my pre-draft workouts, and he was a tough guard for me just because he was so athletic and his shooting ability made it real tough for me.
For sure.
Nice. Favorite basketball shoe of all time?
Oh, definitely something Kobe. Something Kobe's. I feel like everyone says that though. So probably Kobe 4s, I reckon.
Yeah, I'm with the 4s.
Who's in the headphones right now?
Man, probably Lil Baby. Lil Baby's had my headphones for the last year and a half, man. He's killing the game right now, and yeah, Lil Baby. Actually, don't lie though. I play Adele. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I play some Adele every now and then, so that as well.
Nice. All right, who's winning the NBA championship this season? Who's your pick?
I'm gonna say the Bucks. Just they're solid. They're solid. They're consistent. They don't have too much distractions. Brooklyn are very talented, but they've got too many distractions. Too much going on. The Warriors are tough this year as well, but it's just I don't think they have the talent to. I mean, they had Clay, but I think the Bucks. They play the right way. They play defense. Yeah, the Bucks.
Nice.
Celebrity crush.
Man, shit. I think her name is Madison Beer. I think her name is. She's an absolute stunner.
There you go. A lot of players use their skip one because they're cuffed up, so they're like, oh
no, we cool about that. Don't worry about it.
All right. Would you prefer to win dunk of the year or block of the year? Or don't care?
Probably dunk. Dunking on someone just like feeling, you know what I mean? Yeah. Probably dunk.
Sure. Playing on the road or playing at home?
That's a great question, man. I don't know, man. I love playing on the road. We hit a big shot. Everyone's like, ooh, all that kind of stuff. But just the energy at home is like, it's unmatched, man. Just before I played at Sydney, it was probably playing on the road. But now that I'm sitting at the big arena, the fans are crazy. It's probably playing at home now.
Sure.
Nice. All right, we're going to finish with an obvious one, but I want to hear it, and I want you to say with your chest, who's winning the NBL championship this season, bro?
Come on, man. The Kings. Easy question, bro.
Can you give us who's in the NBL finals?
Okay.
With the Kings?
Yeah. I'm going to say Wollongong. Wollongong's talented. Southeast Melbourne's going to be in the finals. Us and maybe even New Zealand. I don't know. I haven't seen the other bubble from the Blitz too much, but I'm not sure about Perth this year. You can't ever count out Bryce Cotton and Perth, them boys, and Adelaide's talent. Everyone's talented, but they're my four. And it's going to be in the grand final. It's going to be us versus Southeast Melbourne. It's going to be a close one, but we're going to spank them.
Xavier Cooks MVP.
And then, man. Sounds good on paper.
Sure.
We've been saying it. Me and Reese have been saying it, man. This NBL season is I can't pick anything, dude. I change my mind every week on who's the strongest.
It's crazy, right, bro? It's a crazy year, and there's so much talent
crazy
this year, man. It's unmatched. Like people are downplaying MK. Like people aren't talking about MK. MK is a top 100 high school recruit. You know what I mean? He used to be in the top 10 in the mock draft. Like he's one of the lower next stars. You know what I mean? It's a crazy year this year.
Yeah, crazy. It's going to be unreal.
It's going to be unreal. I can't wait.
For sure. We'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much, Xavier, for joining us. Hopefully the Kings can bring home the title. We're rooting for you this year. And once they win and you win finals MVP, you can jump back on here.
Sounds good to me, fellas.
And tell us you told us so.
Exactly.
For sure.
All
we
right,
appreciate it.
Appreciate the call, guys.
No worries. Good luck this season.
You.
See you.
Thank you guys for joining us on Aushoopers TV. Once again, remember, whatever streaming platform you guys are listening on, make sure you go follow it and follow us on Instagram at Aushoopers TV. Big fans of Xavier Cooks over here. Probably the best rebounder in the league, I'd say.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Arguably for his position, for sure, and his height and his abilities. Like this guy's a monster on the glass.
Mm-hmm. He's dropped his top four. He's got Breakers, Kings, the Hawks, and Southeast. And he reckons it's going to be Southeast and Kings in the final. Interesting. Everyone's got different takes. I mean, the 10 teams are very evenly spread, so
you can't hate on anyone's take because it's all like possible, you know. You can say like jack jumpers, like you could after Blitz, you could throw them in there. Adelaide, like man, I don't know.
We've got to drop our NBL preseason preview very soon, so we'll have that coming for you guys. We'll drop our top four. We'll drop our MVP predictions. We'll drop our Rookie of the Year predictions. We'll do all of that stuff. We'll go through every single team and break them down. Going to be very interesting. I'm excited to see who you pick for your top four now that the Blitz is nearly done and dusted. I've got to go through and pick my own.
Plus a coin on the day, and there's whatever it lands on, bro. That's how I feel right now at the NBL.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us again. We appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the next episode.